reps, West Coast a little bit too.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. We about to get into it, man.
We got J.R. Jones in the building, man. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good, brother. Hey, shout out to Can't Be Trusted podcast, man. I'm excited for this podcast. Thank you for having me.
Man, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
I'm excited to get into it, man.
Yes, sir, man. So just
got a lot of stuff to dive into.
Yes, sir. Just checking out your music, man. The man is just talking to him early before we started, man. This man said he writes, produces, and records everything himself. That's respect, because I couldn't do that. Like just that whole process of just sitting in the studio by yourself or just making beats and then just recording yourself. Man, big ups to you. Like that's respect.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. I don't think people really understand. For all the people that are just getting to know me or the people that know me, I don't think people really understand like how much work it takes to produce what I do at the level I do it at. Because like I pride myself on not just throwing out trash. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause
quality.
You could just throw out a bunch of songs, but I really try to put my heart into every single one. And anybody that's close to me can attest to that. Like they'll know, like, bro, what do you do? Like, if it ain't. I'm a perfectionist, but I get shit out.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I get you. I get you. Cool. So, man, tell us a little bit about yourself today, man. Where you from and how was your upbringing?
Cool. I'm from a lot of places. I feel like with me, the artist that I am and the sound that I have such a diverse sound. I think my backstory explains it perfectly. So, for starters, like, I really don't have like a hometown.
Yeah.
I was almost like a military kid in a way. Like,
okay.
I grew up. My family's from Northern Cali, so like they're based there. Like my daddy's family's from Oakland.
Okay,
my mother's Bay Area stand up. Is there East Oakland? And a little town called Grayson, California, up north.
I've never heard of that city.
Right? I never expect you to, dog. It's like it was actually gonna be the capital of California.
Really?
I love telling people that.
Damn, that's crazy. I ain't never heard that.
Yeah, man. Okay. It's like population of like what, maybe 5,000 people. That's like small. Not a lot at all. Yeah. It felt like Little Mexico. Okay. That place would probably be the closest I get kinda to calling a hometown, because I was there till I was about 7, 8.
Okay.
So I got some childhood friends and stuff like that. But anyways, with my upbringing, I was born to a Mexican American mom. My dad's African American. So coming from a black culture and a Mexican culture, I was surrounded by that my whole life. My parents got divorced when I was about like 12 years old. So from there, that's where all the moving started. That's why I never had a hometown. So I went to St. Louis, Missouri. And then from St. Louis, Missouri, I went to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Okay. Then from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, I went to Cleveland, Ohio. From Cleveland, Ohio, back to a different part of St. Louis. From St. Louis, back up north near Sacramento. And then from Sacramento to L.A. And I've been in L.A. for the past 5 years. So
it's crazy.
But I think
it's a
journey.
Every
2 seconds you gotta like figure out how to reinvent yourself to new kids at school and like you get to redefine like what it is for yourself. So for me, it was always like, fuck, who am I, bro? Like, because when I the first move that I made, I realized like, I've been around these Mexican kids since I was like 10, and then I get to a city like Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where it's just the project, all blacks. Yeah. And it's like a culture shock, because I'm like, damn, I feel like this black Mexican kid with no black in him. Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Then leaving Milwaukee, I feel like this black kid with no Mexican in him. Yeah. And I actually started to forget how to speak Spanish. I'm fluent in Spanish, by the way. Okay. But I started to forget Spanish. You know what I'm saying? Then I went to Cleveland, and Cleveland's like basically all white with sprinkles of black. To me. Really? Okay. Yeah. I think it's like, especially the area that I was in, it was like primarily white. So being exposed to that culture is like a totally different culture. So just being like, it really cultured me and exposed me to a lot of different aspects of cultures, because you have different music in Mexican culture and black culture and white culture. You know what I mean? And they all kind of tied together to give myself an identity that I like to, carry on today.
That's cool. Yeah, I could definitely hear that in your music, whether it be like a slower song or like upbeat tempo song. I definitely can hear a lot of the influences.
Definitely, man.
So you definitely don't have like just one style, which that's what I like about your music.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. As an artist, it's one of the things that like, it's something that I kind of fear a little bit. Yeah. Like, at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck, but it's one of the things that I fear, because so many of your favorite artists, like, they have that signature sound. and you know that's them. Like for instance, if you like 21 Savage,
Yeah.
21 Savage ain't gonna come out with a pop song.
Yeah,
Like
true.
he's gonna give you, you know what I mean,
Something hard. Yeah.
something hard.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
you just know what you're gonna get. Like, you know what I mean. With me as an artist, it's kind of like reaching in a bag and closing your eyes. Like you don't really know what I'm gonna hit you with. I'm just trying to give you my creativity. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? The way I look at it, like if I were to do one type of music, I'd be selling myself short, and I wouldn't be being true to myself. Like for me to just make a pop record or a Spanish record or, you know, a dance record or a serious record would short sell me. Like I'm so much bigger than that as an artist. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I have so much more to offer, and the way I always look at music is like art, like any other art, and you can look at it, but specifically painting. Like I feel like 21 Savage, for instance, maybe he just has a paintbrush and red paint, whereas I feel like I have a paintbrush, I have pencils, I have markers, I have a bunch of different tools to sculpt out different kinds of music. And the beautiful thing about music is I feel like when I'm creating this diverse body of work, I feel like it all comes together as like you can fully see my brain and see what I do. You know what I'm saying? Because I can make a lot of it from scratch. So yeah, man.
That's what's up. But I was very aware of Mac Miller. I've been listening. I heard of him like back in high school with Kids and Nikes on My Feet. Wasn't a fan of like the later music, but I mean, he just seemed like a really cool dude. What were your thoughts on Mac, and did you listen to his music?
Oh, man, it was sad. I think similar to the X situation. Like I can't honestly say like, oh, I was a hardcore Mac Miller fan. You know what I mean?
Same with X.
Like, but being in Ohio, I remember when he popped because he was from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So that Pittsburgh area is right there close to Cleveland.
Yeah.
So like him and Wiz, they were all booming at around the same time. And he was a big deal. So that was definitely somebody I couldn't ignore at that time. Somebody like when he came out with that Donald Trump song. That was major. And it's just sad to see. It's just another tragedy in the music industry, you know what I'm saying? And I think that the main thing that it spoke to me is like, how many more artists is it gonna take until we wake up? You know what I'm saying? Like, how many more artists have to fall until we realize these are humans? These are human beings. Like, mental health is serious. Drug abuse is serious. Mm-hmm. And aside from, we may rap about drugs. We may rap about the certain things, but there's a lot of hidden shit people don't see.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As many people who take drugs may attest to, like, I feel like you take drugs to escape from something.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ultimately, he escaped from life, period. Look at Lil Peep. Lil Peep just died too.
Yeah.
The same kind of deal.
Yeah, and I didn't even know who Lil Peep was until that he died, and I was like, damn, that's crazy. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? But that's what you got these days with all these, you know, up and coming rappers, especially the young ones who are like under 21 and
exactly.
You know what I'm saying, popping Xans, drinking lean, like
it's a trip, man.
And it's definitely traumatizing. So I mean, what I gotta say is, man, if you need help, just talk to anybody. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? Just talk to God, or just, you know what I'm saying, just reach out, because there's somebody who can help you out. But you know what I'm saying, drugs,
absolutely,
it's not the way to go.
What kills me about it is I know this sounds kind of not so politically correct, but I really don't like the way, like, after an artist dies, then we choose to appreciate an artist.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you know what I mean? I hate that it takes a sacrifice of somebody's life for us to wake up and say, you know, hey, maybe drugs aren't bad, or hey, maybe we should pay more attention to depression and things like that. You know what I mean? Like X's songs are playing all over the place.
Yeah.
He was a great artist. Yeah. Like, I just wish more people would have gotten a chance to hear him and appreciate him while he was here. Yeah. To give him that love and respect, man.
Exactly.
All my condolences go out to Mac Miller and his family, man.
Yeah. Same here. So the second thing I want to talk about is I believe it was on the Joe Rogan podcast. It was they had a guest, Elon Musk, who's the head of Tesla, and they were smoking weed on the podcast, and it got a lot of backlash, and apparently like Tesla stock dropped.
Right, I saw that.
Yeah, so
I saw that. Yeah,
and it was crazy because it's just like, you know, there's a lot of brothers, black and brown brothers, that are in jail right now for weed, and now you just like, you got people just smoking weed
recreationally.
you know what I'm saying? It's just like, damn, like, why couldn't everybody be doing it? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's just crazy how just the marijuana business has changed. I don't knock them for smoking. Like, hey, if you want to smoke, go ahead.
Absolutely.
Like,
Get
you
your
know what I'm
smoke
saying?
on.
I don't know. But it's just crazy how just the industry is just like really tapped into that. So yeah, I want to get your thoughts on that.
I think it paints the bigger picture to me. The bigger picture in that situation is like you said, all of the, especially minorities, Black, Latino men that are locked up for marijuana. Like, let them people go, bro.
Yeah.
The minute you let one state sell legal marijuana, like Colorado or Cali, like, let them go, bro. That's not right. That's not right. And I think that's one of the things that stops legislation from passing it. Yeah. From being, because they know, like, oh, we locked this nigga up for barely having any kind of weed. Now it's legal everywhere. Like, I don't think it's right. I think they should absolutely be released.
Definitely. I agree. So the last thing I want to touch on was the Bobby Brown movie that came out on BET. I just saw part 1 the other night. Great documentary.
Janet.
Man, great documentary. That Janet scene was crazy.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Didn't know that.
I was like, wow, like Janet Jackson, like, yeah, that was wild.
Bobby was a wild boy.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on Bobby Brown? Like, did you listen to a lot of Bobby Brown? I mean, I know we're a little younger, but
I mean, his hits. Actually, side note, my dad. So one of my biggest influences, of course, is my dad. That's my king, my big guy I look up to. Yeah. He was a singer when he was growing up.
Oh, okay, that's what's up.
In Oakland, he had a group called New Creation.
Oh, okay.
And New Creation was like their rendition of New Edition.
Oh.
So me growing up, I heard Cool It Now.
Yeah.
All night long. And then his like, you know, all the stuff that Bobby Brown did. Yeah. You know what I mean? His solo run was amazing. It was. So he was an amazing artist, man. Amazing career.
Definitely. It's definitely a depressing documentary though. Like, I got to part 1. I'm just like, shit, like, I already know what part 2 is going to consist of. I want to see
part 2.
I'm just like, damn, it's like, this really happened, but I mean, I don't know. Hollywood's a scary place.
No, it is. It is, man. I think the cool thing about the storytelling of it is it shows the real side of the artist that people don't see. Like, a lot of people will see me in this outfit and they'll hear my voice on a record and they'll see me on stage, but they don't see when after a show, they don't see the debt that's piling up. They don't see the relationship struggles I'm having, the health issues I'm having. So I think that's a beautiful thing to show in that aspect, in a positive light of Bobby Brown's story.
Definitely. So, man, let's get into the, J.R. Jones, the artist, musician. Yeah, how'd you get your start in music, man?
My dad.
Like you said, your dad.
So, like, when I was a kid, all throughout the house, I would just smell weed and hear music, like, all the time. He started in his boy band thing, and my grandmother used to manage him, and it was just super dope. They had a really good buzz. They were actually going to tour with the Whispers at one point.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they got to a really good height, and then there's a lot of he needs to write a book. He's got a whole lot of stuff. Anyways, fast forward about 20 years, he becomes like an R&B singer, and was rivaling the likes of people like Tank in his like heyday. So with Black Ground Records and all that stuff, he was shopping at. So as a kid, I didn't know what the hell was going on. All I knew was Daddy was always in the studio, smelled funny. And you know what I'm saying? So that was always like, music was always there. And then I always say that the funny story about me starting to make music is cause basketball used to be my everything. I thought I was going to go to the league. And, one day I came home from practicing and, my daddy was working on music or whatever. And he was like, hey, would you like to make a song? And I was like, man, I'll be a dope rapper. And I walked past him. I'll never forget it. Yeah. And then I came back like like an hour or so, 2 hours later, and I was like, hey, you know what, let's do it. Fuck it. And once he let me do that, I created the most trash song that I loved in the world. It was the worst song. But the feeling, like, you get this certain feeling. I'm sure you kind of get it with your podcast in a sense. Definitely. When you, like, the feeling of creating something, and it's like, that's your baby. You know what I'm saying? And like,
you're right.
That feeling of like, I did that shit. That's me. It's just a great feeling. And then music gives you like this euphoric feeling. I always explain like this, like, you know, when you hear your favorite song and it's like, yo, this is my shit. And you're like, I just want to keep replaying it. It's like, imagine creating it. It's like, you made it exactly how you like it. So that's how I got my start in music. I was about 16 years old. So I've been in this thing damn near 8 years now. So just going hard, never gave up. I started out selling CDs at school and
The grind.
man.
Yeah.
Just
First
going
start.
hard. And I'm just now getting to that. I just recently this year hit that kind of like, okay, we really got to go now. Like, it's got to really pick up. It's really got to happen now. So like my work ethic went to another different level, but I've always believed in myself. I've always, every year, if you check my track record, like I've always gone hard. You know what I mean?
That's what's up. So besides your dad being your biggest influence, what other artists and music did you listen to growing up?
Other artists I listen to, I heard Commissioned a lot because church folk.
Okay.
So I heard a lot of Commission. I heard a lot of Lauryn Hill. Love Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
Artists. The Fugees, Outkast.
Okay.
Heard a lot of Tupac, obviously. Heard a lot of Pac growing up. Then me personally, like not moving out the house, but as I started listening to music on my own, Lil Wayne all day was like, because in 2006, he was just the hottest man on earth.
He was just dropping all the mixtapes and everything.
Dedications. Yeah. That was my man's right there, dude. He was so dope to me, man. He really inspired me to rap. Kid Cudi.
Yeah.
Who was another one? I got so many. Kanye, obviously, like from a artistic point of view.
Have you heard that new song he did?
Which one?
The one he did for the Pornhub Awards.
Hell, Kanye, I'm gonna get you, bro.
It's kind of catchy, but it's like it's kind of like a what the fuck kind of like.
I think we own the Kanye's. He kind of
he did it with Lil Pump actually.
Oh, wait! The video. I seen the video. I didn't hear the song.
I think that's the one I'm talking about.
Okay,
that
okay,
one. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
That's a bold dude, man. You gotta respect him. Like I like the idea of Kanye West.
I get what he's doing. Yeah,
even though we don't agree necessarily with all the specifics.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the slavery stuff and all that.
Yeah.
I think that his main point that he tries to get across is mental freedom and breaking the chains. Of not being so.
I get what he's saying. I think he's just wording it wrong, but
absolutely,
I don't think his mind is in the right place.
At the same time, too, I kind of think he does it for a little bit of shock value.
And try to getting attention.
You know what I'm saying? Because if he says it normal, maybe people won't listen. But if he says something a little, people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do something like that. But from an artistic point of view, he was always somebody that I looked at. Was
definitely
like, cool. Definitely. I want to be like that guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So tell us about your latest project, Nova. Listening to it had about, I think, 21 songs, I think?
20, yes.
20 songs?
Nova had 20, yeah.
Lot of energy. I could hear a lot of energy, whether it was like from just like turning up, partying to like just like talking about your girl or something like that. What was the inspiration behind that project?
So the inspiration behind Nova was my transformation. I went through like a serious depression last year.
Oh, okay.
So the whole like 2017, I was just battling depression. And the beautiful thing about depression is you're transforming like as you're going through it. You're so down here like on earth that you can see others. Like you see that, the way your mom calls you and you appreciate that more. You appreciate the little things in life a lot more. But anyways, so the way that connects to Nova is I wanted to find something meaningful for me at that time of my life when I was creating the album. And Nova actually translates to butterfly in a Native American language called a Hopi. So I felt like, not only do butterflies symbolize faith and hope and but also transformation. And that was a big thing for me. Like I felt like I was transforming from kind of being, at my lowest and trying to get up. And because when you come out, it's like when you come out of depression, you feel like a new person. I definitely for sure personally felt like, God, I'm a whole nother person. You know what I mean? And the beautiful thing is that you can hear so much of my pain, so much of my frustration, a lot of my like just everything that I was going through kind of expressed through the album. So it was definitely like a life moment. I feel like all my pieces of art are like that. When I'm creating, I feel like it's like it has to be something related to me. You know what I'm
definitely.
saying?
That's when you make your best music at.
Absolutely.
What about the project before? That was the J.R. Jones show? Yeah.
So the Jones show was more like I felt like, okay, what's a good way to explain that? Was still in the middle of depression when that one was coming, when I was creating that one. So what that one felt like was like, okay, I'm depressed.
Yeah.
But the show must go on.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
like it's showtime. Let's go. Like this is who I am. This is what I need to become. And Nova was kind of like the progression or the post.
Yeah.
That.
The Jones Show definitely felt a little bit more like outgoing. And the Nova was a little bit more
gloomy.
Yeah, definitely. Even by like the album covers. Like,
right.
Yeah, white background. You just kind of like, hey. And
right.
Nova was just more like serious, like, you know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
going through the pictures is funny, man. Yeah. I'm a big fan of Game of Thrones.
Okay.
So I joke with my boys all the time, like, man, I'm on Game of Thrones on that thing. Like,
I feel
you know what I mean? But yeah, I think it just really caught what I was trying to go for artistically.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, man. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do an exclusive announcement right here on the podcast.
Okay.
I got a new album that's gonna be dropping October 11th. Nobody has ever heard of it up until right now.
Hey.
But, you know, I fucks with this man. I fucks with his energy and everything that he's doing on this podcast. So I'm gonna announce it right here. October 11th, Me Versus Myself is gonna be dropping on all platforms. It's a new album for y'all.
Hey, you heard it right here. Can't Be Trusted Podcast. Let's get it.
Yes, sir.
So one of the biggest things I noticed from your music was obviously you're Mexican and black. Was you speaking Spanish, and I was like, that threw me off. We were talking about it earlier.
right.
Yeah, that threw me off.
Yeah.
What made you start rapping in Spanish, and what was the reception after you start getting that?
Well, I remember there was just one day. Well, because I speak Spanish, that was just the easy answer. But my dad kind of hit me over the head with it. One day he pulled me to the side and was like, "Bruh," I'm like, "What?" He's like, "You know you speak Spanish, right?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You know there's like 3.2 billion people that speak Spanish, right?
Yeah.
That don't speak English." I'm like, "Oh, you know, you got a good point." He's like, "You'd be an idiot not to at least try."
Yeah.
And then I kind of forced myself to start really listening to Spanish music, and then from there, it was like a domino effect. Like I really fell in love with the art and started to implement it in my music.
Yeah. Was it hard at first?
The language difference between English and Spanish. Have you ever heard somebody say like, if you're ever hearing a song, a lot of times people ask me like, "Oh, what is he saying in Spanish? Can you translate it to English?"
Yeah.
And it's like, it rhymes in Spanish, but it don't rhyme in English though.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah, I was thinking that, like, cause I don't know Spanish at all.
Right.
And I was listening to it, I was rocking to it, but I'm like, I don't know what he's saying, but I'm really just rocking to it, like.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, like, look, if we say in English, we say, the cat took the hat.
Yeah.
Right? Just something hella simple. The cat took the hat.
Yeah.
In Spanish, el gato llevó la cachucha. Like,
that doesn't rhyme.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So just that alone, in Spanish, you got to start thinking about, okay, what rhymes with what? Things rhyme differently.
Okay.
So that's another thing. Like, things rhyme differently. The cadence is different.
Yeah.
The way, it's just a whole nother art that you have to kind of develop. So it was cool. It was a good challenge for me.
Yeah. Does it take longer to do stuff in Spanish?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's like maybe 3 times.
Oh, really?
3 times as long, depending on how.
Yeah.
Like I did a what was it called? I did a freestyle series not too long ago, maybe like 3 or 4 months ago.
Okay.
And I did about, I want to say 3 to 4 songs where like I picked Future's beats. I think I picked Mask Off. And I just went off in Spanish, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But it was so hard to write, like, you know what I mean? Like you got to get the timing right and stuff. But it's a good feeling when you finish it. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, you know what I mean? Kind of like, I related to like that feeling when if you ever memorize Busta's verse and look at me now, like when you, that's how it feels in Spanish when you dump the whole damn verse. Mm-hmm. So man, that was cool. Major, but it's definitely a cool thing. And to answer your question about the reception, it's been really dope to get reception from Latino people. Like I want Mexicans specifically, but also just all Latinos to feel, especially Afro Latinos above everything, to feel represented, to feel like you can relate to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, for Mexicans to be like, you got a Mexican dude in hip hop, like you got a black dude. Obviously, like black people, we run hip hop. Like we are hip hop.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? But I love my. You see how big hip hop is. I mean, Mac Miller just died.
Yeah,
he's a white rapper. You know what I mean? So it's like such a big thing. I want to be able to relate that to my Latino culture and reach out to those people.
If you were in New York or like the East Coast, I definitely feel like your influence would hit a little harder.
Right.
I feel like on the West Coast, we're not really used to that. It's you working.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like people don't understand. Like I wake up, I'm doing I also direct and edit like my music videos.
Oh, really?
On top of everything that I do.
That's crazy.
The album covers that you see, like I do all the graphic design.
Really?
So like there's no time. I am the entire Black Musa Records. Like I am doing everything. Shout out to Rudy. He's my business partner. He does a lot for me too. But I'm just saying, like my arms stretch out so far that I'm just. I literally don't be having time to listen to people.
Yeah.
But also, here's a surprising thing. I listen to banda music, bro.
Really?
Dead ass. Look, this is what happened.
Yeah.
When I had came back from Missouri,
okay,
I tried to talk to my grandpa. My grandpa is straight out of Mexico, Tamaulipas, Mexico, like
really?
right under Texas.
Okay.
So he don't speak no English, but he's the reason I speak Spanish.
Okay.
You catch what I'm saying? It's like when I was being raised with them, like I had to be able to speak to them. When I came back, I was stuttering. I couldn't talk to my grandpa at all. Saludos a mi abuelo, but I couldn't. Like, it didn't bother me, and I was like, I felt a disconnect with my Mexican culture.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Like I felt a strong connect. I've always felt a strong connection with my Black culture. You know what I'm saying. I know who's hot, what we do, what we eat. But with the Mexican culture, it was like I was missing something. So when I got back, I kind of force fed myself to start listening to banda music. And I ended up really liking it, man. Like genuinely really liking the way that they write and the way they organize their melodies and stuff like that. And I'm a big fan of banda music. So that's another thing that's been bumping in my car a lot lately because it keeps me sharp on my Spanish at the same time.
That's cool, man.
Where we're shooting videos, we're shooting film, like short films and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, I just really wanted to grow into something huge. Shout out to my sister Monique and my brother Malachi and my sister Mariah and my father. They all have their hands in creatively to try to help with the visuals and stuff like that too. So like my sister and my brother are going to be great directors one day. Yeah. So man, just trying to expand it as much as possible. That's my goal with it.
Yeah, I want you covered that a little bit, but I want to talk about like signing to a major or staying independent. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Because I see a lot of people like yourself staying independent, not really trying to get that like big bag from like Universal or Epic or or you know what I'm saying, Warner or whatever.
Right. I feel like it's such a tough subject, man, because every artist's dream is to get signed at some point.
Definitely.
And what's up, baby girl?
Oh, you good?
Nah, you good. Sade, MSM Media just stepped in the building.
Yes, sir.
Hey. But to the point about the record labels, I feel like it's a touchy subject because again, every artist dreams of getting that major contract and everything kind of. I know for me, starting out before I really understood what hard work meant, I really was just wishing somebody would just hear my song and sign me to a contract and do this, that, and the third. But
that's everybody.
But you learn real quick that ain't the route. And even if you get that one song, is like you haven't even developed yourself as an artist enough to stay afloat and create more hits after that one or create a strong discography. So there's that aspect. Another aspect is the 360 deals and the way you know what I'm saying. You always want to make sure that your back end is really covered and that you know what you're doing before you just step into a contract. Like personally, I would love to, but I would also love not to. Like I'm on both sides of the fence. If it's right on one side, like really right, and they respect what I've done as an artist and what I've built, and we can come to a mutual agreement where like, okay, this is what we need from each other and there's no shadiness shit going on, then I'd love to. Like, let's all get money. Let's make the biggest brand in the world. If not, I'm going to just keep grinding and doing what I got to do and, stick on that route. Like either way, I'm happy. I'm not complaining either way.
Yeah, because I was reading an article last month and I saw that they did some stats on the music industry last year, and it was like less than, I think, 20% of artists.
I know what you said.
Actually,
most of it came from touring. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I'm just like, the artists aren't getting paid. Like, it's the labels and it's everybody else. And it's the people who are making the music aren't getting paid.
It's like on both sides, on their side, I see that they try to argue like, oh, artists wouldn't be nothing without us. Yeah. But it's like, you literally wouldn't be anything without the artists. Yeah. Like, you have businessmen in a building? Yeah. With what to work. But the issue, I believe, is that there's always going to be that artist that will be like, well, if you ain't going to take that deal, then I'll take it. Yeah. And then the label will be like, all right, let's just put him out. In how many artists have you seen? There's one every year. You get that artist that comes out, puts that hit single out, and you never hear from him again. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? They never have, they don't build a strong fan base. Shouts to Nipsey, because that's somebody that I look up to as far as from a business point of view. Great music too, but I'm saying more so as a black leader in our community and in this music game, like for him to have done what he's done, and to do it in his way, like I respect that, man, because he was from the ground up, did the indie thing, and then signed the deal and was right. And that's my dream, is to be able to build it my way and work hard for what I got, and then be able to come to their table like, okay, look, this is what we got, this is what I've built. Like, now what can y'all provide for us? Not just coming to the table like, hey, I'm talented. Yeah. And then they'll be like, we got all the resources. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I get you. Yeah. So yeah, man. Shouts to Nips. That's very inspiring. Russ did the same thing. Yeah. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yep. Yeah. So I want to talk about the Rick James video.
Like I'm Rick.
I wanted to be in it.
Yeah. Hey, it was a fun video, man. Shout out to everybody that was a part of that thing, man.
What was the inspiration behind that? Even though, we all know Rick James, legend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Fuck your couch. You know what I'm saying?
Couch, nigga.
Cocaine is a
rest
hell
in
of a
peace.
drug. Yeah, rest in peace
to him. That's another person, man. I real quick before I answer that, I think it's really sad. I think it connects to our last point that we was making. I feel like music personalities die really soon, man. Yeah. Like Michael was 50. Yeah. Rick James, like the list just goes on and on. And like our legends, James Brown was not old like that. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think he was 80.
Nah. Like they're not. They don't live long. So we gotta take care of our musicians, man. Yeah. But the inspiration behind Rick, he was just another artist that I would hear in the house a lot. And when I was writing a song, I remember I was writing, and I was like, "So song them like I'm," and I was like, "I need a person that, you know what I mean, embodies kind of what I'm saying." And then everything that I was saying, I was like, "Nah, Rick was that guy." Like, give it to me, baby. Like, he was that dude, and he made great music, man. Like, he really did. Like, he had some great records.
He did. Him and T. Marie was a killer.
Absolutely. And his, like, the way he performed was really inspiring. Like, I love the way Rick James performed, and the way he would dress, like, from top down. He's just one of those. I think a lot of people from that era were like, their performance overall
stage presence was big.
Yes, I took the words right out of my mouth. Exactly. I think that was huge. So he's just an icon in music, and I felt like, let me just do him a little justice and put a little hip hop spin on Rick James.
Yeah, definitely. Quick, man. How was filming that video? Like, how'd you go about finding the models and the
that's much love to Black Music Films. Everybody involved in Black Music Films. There was a lot of hands in it. A lot of people. Shout out to Malachi. He found the models for us, and after the models, I believe Rudy locked down the location, which was a beautiful home. Yeah, it was this beautiful location, and it just embodied exactly what we wanted to do, and I think we really nailed it with the whole situation. It was funny, man, because that's my brother. Rick James in the video is my little brother.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. So for him to like do that for me was really cool, man. He was just a great sport about it, and he killed the role. Yeah, he killed the role. He let me go all out with it. He let me put him in leather. With like leopard tights in a red suit. Like, he let me go all out, so I appreciate him for that.
That's cool. And you edited that yourself?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was my little baby. I was taking my time with it, and I was like, I really want this one to really look good. And we just made some upgrades, man. Like, these visuals that's coming. We just gonna keep going up from there. So that's cool, man. And thank you for acknowledging that, man. I think I really appreciate when people acknowledge like the hard work that I put in.
Oh yeah, definitely.
As far as like the videos and stuff like that. It's like those are small details that people just watch it and they don't even realize, like, you don't know how long I took to like perfect that. So
same here, because I edit this all by myself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Sitting there, I may mess up and I gotta go back in, cut this, smooth this out, upload it. Internet isn't working. Restart, like, my pain, like, you know what I'm saying? Man. So yeah, I mean, any creative, I got much respect. Much respect.
Man, I feel you. And salute to you for doing your editing and stuff too, man.
I appreciate it.
It's the grind. It's legitimate grind too, man. Mm-hmm. So yeah. So Rick James it was such a big, what was important about it for me was, I don't know if you had the chance to, but last year I dropped a record called Making It Pop. Okay. And it was like the last big single that I did. And then Rick James was the next kind of big single I did. I had Neff the Pharaoh on Making It Pop. Okay. And it was a dope video. We had like ninjas. How'd you get that connection? I was with management. My management at that time had a connection. Shout out Chaz Hayes Management. And he just made that link, and shout out to Neff, and Neff was messing with it, and we made a really dope song together. That's what's up. And it did good. It was a good kickstart. Yeah. You know what I mean? For everything that I was doing. So I feel like we accomplished that with Rick James. It did more numbers than anything we've ever done. Yeah. It gotten the best reception. Like, it just did really well, man. So I was really, and just shout out to everybody who was a part of it, man. Everybody who shared, everybody who's sharing right now, listening right now, streaming. Like, thank y'all. I really appreciate it. A lot of work went into it.
Hey, yes, sir. So where you see yourself in 5 to 10 years?
Man. 5 to 10 years.
Let's go 5 first.
Okay. So 5 years. 5 years from now, my true goal is to have established like a really strong reign in the hip hop game. Like, I for sure see myself. I have already been on top. In 5 years, I wanted to be like, okay, JR's been on top for about 2-3 years already.
Yeah.
Like, that's my goal. That's where I see myself. As far as, aside from, music, in 5 years, I see myself maybe being married, maybe having a kid or two, owning property, having investments, building family, man, like just making great connections, just being in a better place. Like, you always want to go forward. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. As far as 10 years, it's probably just that multiplied. To be honest, definitely want to travel. You know what I'm saying?
Kids, you know what I'm saying? Send on some M's. I get you.
Yeah, the regular shit. You know what I'm saying? Cool. Definitely big aspirations. My dreams are so big, man. Like, I make them so unrealistic in other people's eyes that you know. My thing in 5 to 10 years too. Another thing I want to do is I want to get to the point. I'm gonna get to the point where I'm the #1 hip hop artist in the U.S. in the world in both English and Spanish on both charts. That's what I really want to do. Like,
gotta shoot for the stars.
Yeah, man. Once. Absolutely. I want to be I'm not in it just to be a whatever artist or just to get by as a musician. I really want to be the greatest, man. Like, I really put my whole heart and soul into this thing. So, yeah, man. Definitely. Big aspirations. Big plans.
I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you.
Man. Thank you, brother.
Man, so we get into the best part of the podcast. You know what I'm saying? The reason why it's called Can't Be Trusted. You know what I'm saying? You can be trusted for now. We'll see. We'll see after these, questions. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Sometimes we put people on blast, but it's for good. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to educate the people and, you know what I'm saying? And keep this positivity going. So
sweating already, man.
Oh man, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? No pressure. Mm-hmm. The first CBT I got is what type of hip hop styles can be trusted?
What kind of hip hop styles?
Yeah.
Skinny jeans and bright colors.
I agree.
Man, I'm low key borderline right now, bro. I got bright colors on everywhere.
I'm too skinny, so I understand. I wasn't rock with the jerking movement. I can't do it.
I just went ahead and skipped right over.
Yeah, exactly.
Jerk
right
over.
You know what I'm saying? I'd rather do some the 2X era, you know what I'm saying, where pants were too big for me and they would fall off my waist. I'd rather do that.
Okay, we connected on that because I'm totally with you. I was the dude in like 2010, 2011, still wearing baggy jeans and everybody's looking at me like, what the fuck?
I get you.
I get
you.
Not the Laffy Taffy movement no more. Let it go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So yeah, man.
But what type of shows can be trusted? Because I know you perform a lot. You know what I'm saying? What type of hip hop shows? If I go to a show, I should be like, damn, I need to bounce.
I would say the type of shows where you got two different kinds of gangs, like Bloods and Crips.
Okay, that's time to bounce.
It's probably time to bounce. Because something gonna go down by the end of the night.
Yeah. What about in the Spanish world?
In the Spanish world,
some just bad clubs or performing, or
you know what? It's surprisingly, I think Spanish clubs are really like. People just get drunk. Really, people like a lot of beers, Coronas, and just dance all night. Like, it's good vibes all night. Everybody, but surprisingly, I think the chicks fight. Like, you gotta watch out for the chick fights.
Real?
Yeah, man. Can't
spicy.
be trusted.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I know you don't heard the spicy Latina.
Yeah, they are. You know, I got love for them sisters, but you know what I'm saying? They are. So the last one I want to see is what fashion trends can't be trusted, because you're doing the Rick James thing. Last week we talked about what did we talk? We talked about the jeans, and we talked about color hair too.
Okay.
So what do you think about that? And what are some?
Wait, what was the first one?
The jeans. Kind of jeans. We talked about the jeans. And then we also talked about color hair.
Which one can't be trusted?
Yeah. And do you have any more?
You kind of got me there. I would say maybe the crazy piercings can't be trusted. Maybe the crazy, and then more than two colors in the hair can't be trusted.
Okay.
So you got two, and that's tap out. You can't put no more colors in your hair.
Yeah.
Bro. Like, get a blonde and a red or something. And call it a day.
How long has your hair ever been?
This is the longest it's ever been in my
Really?
life.
I feel like it's been longer or something like that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nah, man, it's the longest I've ever been. I started growing it like a couple years ago, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna grow this shit.
Okay.
And yeah, like if I let it out these braids, like come this far, bro.
Okay, because we also talked about that too. When they begin the Marion look, where it comes wraps around you.
Yeah.
Head, but it's not growing.
But it's not growing.
Like cut it off. But you got some length, so you cool.
Yeah, man, it's growing. I think the little rubber band ain't doing it justice right now. It's pretty long. I actually debated cutting it. I keep going back and forth. Yeah, I don't know what I want to do with it, man. Because like part of me, I was like, oh, maybe I'll dread it. But I'm like,
okay,
low key can't be trusted.
Okay, yeah, if it no hang time.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no
I don't want dreads doing this. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't either. If I was gonna get them, but what I don't like about the dreads is what I like about the braids is that I could like undo it and like I got a video called Mi Cama, which is like just a whole Spanish video. Yeah, and in that video